Good afternoon. Welcome to the countdown. It's been a very, very strong start. Let's get Mehraboon into this conversation. Mehraboon, good afternoon. Are you surprised by seeing us 400 points higher on the Sensex today?
I think this entire rally which we were possibly expecting, I think this morning, in fact, I was telling some of my senior colleagues in the organization that this rally possibly will surprise many of us. Because as Survi was rightly mentioning that there are not too many fundamental reasons if you look at some of the sectoral moves today, especially shipping, and she was rightly mentioning it. But I personally feel this rally in terms of value as well as possibly even in terms of time. While most of us were feeling on Friday on Monday when the rally after 450, 500 points ended at only 197 points and we were quite disappointed at the end of the day and everybody concluded that India was relatively weaker as compared to the others. I think yes, it should have come as a surprise to many of us. But the way the market has, I would say it's a very broad-based rally if you see. It's not restricted only to real estate or to shipping or to the cement sector. It's quite broad-based, and if you look at Reliance Industries alone, the market leader, the way it has performed today, I think quite a few people now are getting more and more convinced that there has been a lot of consolidation in many of the frontline stocks. So I personally feel this rally could surprise many of us, especially those of us on Monday who were thinking that this rally will not last long. Yes, it's come as a pleasant surprise to many. And personally, I feel that this could possibly stretch a little bit more than what most of us are anticipating at the moment. And I hope I'm not proved wrong on this particular front because after a long time I'm sounding a little bit positive. But yes, if somebody says I shouldn't invest or go ahead and buy, I would still possibly stop him, Rahul. The fact is, I personally feel the pain which we are going to see in terms of the corporate numbers, whether it's IIP, what Surbi was mentioning, or in terms of corporate numbers, which I'm really worried about, which we will see in the month of January coming, and maybe in April also the numbers. I personally feel till the time the market stops reacting negatively to this weak numbers which corporates will announce, I wouldn't like to even possibly think that the bottom is behind us, because only when the markets will stop reacting negatively to the negative news which will come out from the corporate front, on the corporate front, I think at that time only one can conclude the market has bottomed out. But as of now, I personally feel that while this rally will stretch itself a little bit for a longer time, in terms of value as well as in terms of time, I personally feel that we are going to see lower levels again.
Mehraboon, your thoughts on three stocks then? They are, of course, the three index leaders today, Reliance, DLF and Sterlite.
I think DLF, what I learned right is a couple of leading funds are buying heavily into the counter. But I again say the same thing which I've been stating, Rahul, is that the real estate sector, according to me, will be the last sector which will come out of this rot, which this entire system has seen. Coming to Reliance, I expect it to be honestly an underperformer for some more time to come. While I feel that it's a little too late to sell into the counter as far as big investors are concerned, as far as any investor in the stock is concerned, it's a little late to sell into the counter. But today's move honestly has come as a surprise as far as Reliance Industries goes, because I think in the short term there are reasons why the stock should continue to underperform. As far as Sterlite goes, I feel the entire metal pack, if you look at it, ferrous, non-ferrous, both have shown a very sharp upward move today. But on the whole, as far as metals go, I remain negative as far as the sector goes, at least for the next few months, because I think ultimately the demand-supply equation, there is still not too much of equilibrium seen as of now.
Mehraboon, let's just talk about fund flows or other outflows. That's been the case all through 2008. December's not been as savage, at least as yet. I think we're seeing about a $66 million net positive figure. Yesterday we had some buying come in, I think 300 odd crores or so. What expectations do you have? There is a theory doing the rounds that of course there will be a lot of book adjustments from FIIs, and we could see some kind of a final shakeout happen before things settle down starting January 09. Are you expecting something of the sort?
Possibly, yes, Surbi. Even I have the same line of thinking. I feel that whatever funds India is going to see coming into the country, it will take its own time to come. But I'm quite confident of the fact that after this pain is past us, maybe a few months later, I'm quite confident of the fact that India will definitely be a better investment destination than what it was relatively as compared to others maybe a year ago. I think definitely positive from that particular angle, and we are strong believers that the entire landscape as far as equity investment is concerned is going to undergo a tremendous change.
All right, Mehraboon, stay with us. It's looking like a good afternoon for the time being. We're at the day's highs. Let's see if this rally can actually contain this momentum and close with such gains. We'll take a short break on that note, but let's hear out some market voices that we gathered during the course of the day.
Still with the countdown, some flashes coming in on 3G. There's probably a 2% extra levy to be put on for the 3G auction. Standalone 3G operators to pay about 3% additional administration charge as well. So as the 3G auction nears next month, there are some competitive pressures that will get underway with respect to pricing. Meanwhile, for the markets though, it's a fantastic afternoon of trade. 125 on the Sensex, on the Nifty, and 410 points on the Sensex. Reliance Communications, just one stock from the telecom space, wanted to highlight, up nearly about 8%. Mehraboon Irani is still with us. Mehraboon, what did you make of this entire stimuli package that was announced and what it could mean for the infrastructure sector going ahead?
Quite positive. I think I'm all praises as far as the entire coordination among all the central banks across the world, the infusion of liquidity, the bailout packages. I think it was a thing which needed to be done, and it has been done. As far as the authorities in India also goes, full marks to them. This may not be enough. Many skeptics say I fully agree with it, but at least as far as the initial package goes, or initial burst of the action as far as the government goes, they have done the job. But I personally feel this will take its own time to play itself out. What I am concerned about and what my big worry is as far as the equity markets goes, as Rahul, which I have gone on stating, is as far as the numbers go. Because while the financial impact may be behind us, the economic impact is yet to be felt. And that will be felt when the corporates announce the numbers. And if and when the market will stop reacting to the negative news or the negative or the drop in sales or the drop in the bottom line, which will be 25, 30, 40% in many cases across sectors. I think if the market stops reacting to that, at that time I will come out and possibly say that the markets have seen the bottom. But I personally feel we will be in for a root shock. It's nice to say that most of the negatives are discounted, but when the actual event unfolds, I personally feel we'll again see the share prices coming down, and possibly at that time I feel the time for looking at the market from an investment angle will surface. For the time being, I think across the board, across many sectors, there are lovely trading opportunities for the bulls also. I think people who have taken a long position would be having a big smile on their face today, and that is exactly what is the best part as far as the equity market goes. Is basically that at the levels at which we were, I think as and when the market goes up, there could be very decent sharp gains which will be seen across sectors. This is exactly what is happening today. And many of the bears will be wondering as to whether they should be covering the shorts or not. But I think this is what is going to happen to the markets. I personally feel this rally will surprise many of us. But trying to say that we have seen the worst as far as the equity market goes would be a little bit too premature. For that to happen, I'll possibly wait for the December numbers to come and see how the markets react to that.
Sugar space has been seeing a fair amount of momentum today. Balrampur still up about 2%, Dhampur puts on about 5%. Different pieces of news that are actually linked to the space. There is the case which is unfolding in UP where Mills have of course gone to the apex court on the SAP matter. Then of course overall reports which suggest that production in Mehraboon